Hey guys, it's Saru, and I had the opportunity to try out the upcoming MMO Tower of Fantasy that's set to release on PC and mobile later this year, with apparently a console version in development. But anyways, the team over at Level Infinite and Perfect World accepted me into their closed beta, and I've had a few days with the game, almost a week now, and I wanted to give you guys my thoughts on whether or not it's really worth the hype. So, let's get right into it. So before I begin, this video is not at all intended to deter you or influence you into playing the game. My intention is simply to voice my opinions of this game from my own point of view and let you guys know my thoughts on whether or not I enjoyed it, as well as what aspects I did enjoy and did not enjoy. Also, though not sponsored, in this day and age of privacy being lost and needing to travel the world just to finally watch that amazing show, for example the latest season of Better Call Saul, which is only available on Netflix UK if you're in Canada or other locations, we all need a solution. Personally, I've been using Windscribe since 2017 and continue to be using them. They're a Canadian-based company with a nice sense of humor and an amazing structure for their VPN. It's easy to use, and if interested, check out my referral link in the description below. Plus, it's free if you decide to try it out on your own and create your own plan, which can be as little as $1 a month. It's one of the cheapest and best VPNs in the entire market and does not require a lot of money because they don't spend any money on marketing. I'm serious, they don't. So go check them out at windscribe.com or check out my link in the description below. So Tower of Fantasy. So much to say, so much to think here. I had not really heard about Tower of Fantasy until other content creators that I either am friends with or follow kept bringing it up and how it would be the next best thing. Personally, I wasn't a big fan of Genshin Impact, that's just me, mostly because I detest loot boxes after years of playing Korean MMOs, so I figured I'd give this a try. And luckily, I got accepted into the closed beta back when I registered a few months ago, but let's see what I think. Getting into the game, I already knew that this was pretty much designed to be a whole mobile game, but tried their best to kind of bring it to PC so it was equally as interactive. The first thing you see is a screen where you can click anywhere, but also you can set up your settings like your resolution, which is extremely important, and I'll get to why in a little bit. Seriously, you need to know this if you're going to be playing on PC, otherwise it's going to be a disaster. So stay tuned. But anyways, other than that, you can create your preset character as well early on, so when you get into the game and are able to customize your character, you can just import the preset that you've already created. Now, character customization wasn't too bad. In fact, for a mobile game, I was pretty impressed. You had presets that others can add, and you yourself could import and then just fix it up if you wanted. But the actual customization was more in depth than I thought. You could fix up your look, color of your clothing, accessories, and all that, down to the customization of the size and location of an accessory. It was pretty in-depth. The bodybuilding portion was not too bad, a bit basic, but being able to mix up hair colors and gradients, I thought that was pretty nice, and I do remember as early as Blade and Soul first seeing that. I do wish you could adjust your hair a bit, but still, again, for a mobile game, it was not too bad. The facial features part was very, very detailed. You could create your character as unique as you wanted it to be. Of course, there are some limitations. For me, of course, I wanted to make mine reminiscent of my own original character, or OC, with the white hair and all that, so all in all, the character customization for me was pretty good. Wasn't amazing, like the new standard is now with Black Desert, but still pretty good. Probably a 7 out of 10 with some outdated and missing features that I feel would have made it all much better. So finally entering the game, I immediately enjoyed the freedom of the movement and action. I didn't really get to experience how much I would enjoy it until I received all 3 weapons of my choice later on. Even in this little bit here, you can see how fluid the combat is, even though it's being stopped by the tutorials and so on. But after the initial run of this whole location and being level 2 or so, I followed this nice NPC called Shirley that I would be big sad over later on, and I was able to import the look of my character that I fixed up earlier, and it was a neat idea. Again, I was trying not to compare it to any other game like Genshin Impact or anything, though it's hard to, and instead I was trying to make sure that I experienced this with fresh eyes and no bias. I had been told for a long time that this was an MMO. I have no idea what the staff call it, which is an open shared world RPG. Whatever the hell that means, but basically I could see players, well, at least down the road much later on when I'm at a higher level after level 11, but definitely in the beginning I could not see anybody. But that's probably because it's a closed beta. I don't know. But there is a global chat that you can speak to your own server that you can unlock at level 11 as well, so that's pretty MMO-y as well, I guess. And you can trade with people later down the road and told them and whatever, so I don't know. Is it an MMO? I don't fucking know anymore. Now I started discovering black nucleus. Nucleus? I don't know, but I soon learned that the gacha system existed in the game. Yay. Oh boy. I also met Paimon. I'm sorry. My goodness. I misspoke. Mia. Silly tongue twisters. One thing that differs from other gacha games is that you can fully farm the gacha related currency in-game rather than relying on simply paying for it. So that means the gold nucleus, the red nucleus, and the black nucleus you could find in-game through different adventures, even achievements. So that was a relief immediately for me, though I did find the animation for the opening of the gacha box kind of cool. But again, I don't like gachas, so yeah. Now this is what I found cool. When you receive a hero, I guess you can call them, you have the option of adding their weaponry to your own character, or if you want to go to the simulacrum and activate whichever character you want and play as that character, or simply add their characteristics to your own custom character by going back to it and clicking on hide appearance. So pretty much think the different characters that you can get from Genshin, but instead of different characters that you opt in and out of, you can just add all 3 weapons to yourself. So you have your own weapons from different characters that you want, that you can get from different loot boxes, I guess. And yeah, you can turn into those characters or turn into weapons and be your own character or player. But anyways, leveling up felt pretty simple, pretty much your normal run-of-the-mill RPG where you talk to an NPC, go here, deliver this, deliver that, beat up these, and so on and so forth. Now remember in the beginning of the video I said there's a really important fact about the graphics that I feel like I should mention. That's what I'm going to mention right now. One thing I found absolutely annoying was that I couldn't really effectively play the game in the original graphics, as they call it, or maxed out. I mean, you can, and it's smooth and whatever, but as soon as you teleport, the game will crash. There's no way around it, and it will continue to crash. Even if you log back into the game, it will crash, which is why those settings at the main menu is so nice, because the only way to fix it is to lower the graphics down to the lowest or similar and then load in, and only then can you increase the quality of the resolutions once you're actually in the game and have teleported effectively. So if anyone has an issue with that in the future, now you know. That's a little workaround until they fix it, if they fix it. I did find it cool that you can fish and also cook, but before I get into that, I decided to look at the cash shop because that's me. There are so many things for cash, like upgrade passes and whatever, and I figured, well, that's whatever to me. I mean, that's ever since Fortnite, I mean, battle passes have just become a thing. It's just the nature of the beast now. But I wanted to look at the cash shop itself. It was very simple, at least for the time being. You could purchase the nucleus, both red and gold, which you can also find in game as I mentioned, as well as cosmetics that you can purchase. Not too shabby in my opinion, but that could change at any point in the future. But again, this is a mobile game, so I mean, take that with caution. But back to cooking. It's pretty simple. You find a cooking bot, you give them the ingredients, and that's literally it. Not very in depth, but it has its uses, I guess, similar to some other games that use a random fire in the world, but not naming names. The overall stamina system in Jetpack Glider with the stamina I found kind of lame in this day and age, but that's just it. I mean, I have literally nothing else to add to it. Other than that, I just thought it was boring. I hated it. But I kept playing the game because the combat was pretty fun. It kind of felt like Kingdom Hearts in some way, and it had a baby with some random anime and Skyforge. I really enjoyed the switching of weapons. It was seamless and the transition was fluid. Speaking of combat, the dungeons that you could do with other players was also cool and really brought me a feeling of an MMORPG, but it was at this point that I decided against this game. I just don't like mobile games. I don't like gacha systems. I hate loot boxes, let alone this continuous exploitation of gambling that just needs to die off. I did appreciate the fact that real money isn't required to partake in the system, but regardless, the system itself is horrible and I just can't stand it. But that's just me and my own opinion. The game itself is nice looking with some bugs, as is to be expected. The combat is nice, and as much as I looked into the PvP and endgame content, wasn't interested, to be perfectly honest. Again, it's not that the game is bad, I just didn't feel it. I had zero connection to it. The dailies and weeklies and all that was kind of whatever to me. I believe the only thing that kept me playing was the combat, but yeah. Now, as for the company, Perfect World has one of the worst reputations in the gaming industry. I mean, nearly as bad as Gamigo, but I disregarded that, as lately it seems that developers and publishers are looking to reinvent themselves so to speak, so I overlooked it, but seeing how a few things were handled pretty much solidified my decision. The first was the acceptance of the CBT issues. All of the players that were accepted into CBT, a lot of them were not able to get access. To give you an idea, you register for the CBT, you'll either get an email or you won't get an email that basically says you were accepted into the beta. You have until this date to change your email. Okay, that's point A, and then they also tell you when you'll get your email, which was delayed by a day because of technical issues. Fine, whatever. The next day came, and a lot of the people that received an acceptance email did not get their email to download the game. A lot of players, and I do mean a lot, were needing to go and email customer support in hopes to get their password and download link, and that's assuming the response from the customer support would even match the inquiry, which a lot of the time didn't. In some cases, I saw that players would ask for the download link, provide proof of their acceptance, and ask for the password, only to be told that if they're having issues with the game, to re-download it. So yeah, I mean, also I'm not going to let this one slide and forget the fact that for one day, the team accidentally opened up registrations to the whole world and let thousands of players just get into the closed beta by accident. And they had to close that and try to fix it. A little bit of a disaster, but still, not my reasons for not playing. I'm just letting you know some of the facts. So my concerns there are if emails are not getting through, any promotional stuff, it's probably not going to get through your emails. And if they're able to make mistakes like opening up a port for everybody, that is a situation. But for me, I just don't like mobile games, and I especially don't enjoy gacha games. However, if I were to decide between Genshin Impact and this game, truth be told, I'd probably go with Tower Fantasy. Lesser of evils and what have you, but that's me. Of course, Genshin has a bigger success and has a lot bigger team and players, but that's just me. All in all, a nice game. Pretty. Combat is fun, as I said. Customization was interesting, not in depth, but still okay. Photo mode is not too bad. Voice acting is okay, but after the voice acting of other games like Elion and Swords of Legends, I'd stick with the original language if I were you. But yeah, those are my thoughts on this game. Are you interested in Tower Fantasy? What do you like about it and not like about it? Let me know in the comments below and we'll discuss. Maybe I'll go back into it and give it another shot. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe and click that adorable f***ing bell to know when I upload a brand new video. And don't forget to come join my Discord if you want to chat and hang out. Much love and as always, till next time friends.